Sunday Night Football.
Let's get to Sunday night. This is the toughest one of the week for me.
Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. We got Cam versus Jamal. We got Pete versus Bill. We got Russell versus Stephon Gilmore. We got so many cool matchups in this one. The attitude of the Patriots versus the attitude of the Seahawks. They're opposites when it comes to the way they approach life and everything like that. Pete Carroll's jumping around, chewing gum. Bill Belichick hasn't smiled in 12 years. So it's fun to see the opposites go at each other. Patriots going to Seattle. Seahawks favored by 3.5. 44.5 over under, Mike. What says you?
And, the Seahawks, one of the teams that have held their own fairly well against Bill Belichick and the Patriots when they cross paths. I know the Patriots won in the Super Bowl when it really counted, but still the Seahawks could have / should have won that game.
They won both regular season matchups, too. I think they're 2-1, right?
And this is one of those where you have to set aside your big picture view of the two teams and where you think the Patriots will be, because I think the Patriots will be in the conversation for a Super Bowl berth. And I think that if they were playing this game later in the year, the Patriots would be in a better position to compete and win it. And I think that if there were fans at this game in Seattle, it's even more likely that the Seahawks would win handily. But I just think because of the continuity of the roster, because of the hashtag Let Russ Cook, and the ability of Russell Wilson to go out there and make things happen. You complement that with the running game. You look at the history of Belichick and Pete Carroll during their mutual time with their current teams. I think the Seahawks win this game by a touchdown. I could see it go either way. I wanted to pick the Patriots. I want to see this Cam Newton thing continue to flourish, and maybe it will, but I think Russell Wilson and company at this stage of the season in a better position to perform better than the Patriots offense. 27-20 Seahawks.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there's so many things. I feel like we could spend a whole show just on this game to break it down. I really do. There's so many interesting angles. The Seahawks traditionally are that, we're not going to let you run. We're going to stop the run game first. Well, the Patriots are going to be stubborn that way, and they're very creative. And, of course, the Cam Newton aspect of things really changes things around. New England has great history against the Seattle scheme. They do. They've experienced it a lot. They played Seattle in the Super Bowl. They've played them twice in the regular season we've talked about. They played Atlanta in the Super Bowl, who runs the Seattle scheme. They played the Jaguars in the AFC Championship, who run the Seattle scheme. They beat the Chargers in the divisional playoff game 2 years ago, who runs the Seattle scheme. So they know that scheme better than anybody in football. And then when I look on the other side, this is interesting because, you kind of hit it. The Seahawks are together. They're kind of rolling. There's some new things with that Patriots defense, but not in that secondary. And that's one of the things I'll look for. I mean, the Seahawks are going to get one-on-one opportunities in this game. Russell's going to have chances to throw deep balls, DK Metcalf on Gilmore, or Tyler Lockett with J.C. Jackson, whatever it may be. They're going to present themselves. Seahawks didn't run the ball all that well last week. And with that secondary, and I don't think an overly creative scheme by the Seahawks, I think I favor the Patriots defense in a lot of ways. I'm going Patriots to pull off the upset.
Wow.
I know. I think if there was a crowd there, I would definitely pick Seattle. First game on the road, Cam Newton trying to run that offense, do all those things. But since there's not, and I think this Cam Newton fits this formula for how the Patriots want to play, and I also think with their secondary, it's really going to help them contain Russell because now they can do all sorts of creative things when it comes to spying him. They're never a team that leaves their pass rush lanes and does things like that. And, yes, I just think the Patriots really match up well with the Seattle Seahawks. I wouldn't be shocked if we did see this in the Super Bowl. And it could go either way. But I'm going Pats 24-21 on the road here.
I wanted to pick the Patriots. I ultimately decided that, again, if it was November, December, I'd feel better about it. It's too early, I think, for the Patriots to be where they need to be to overcome a team that has that continuity. I'm using your theory to pick the Seahawks to win. So if I'm wrong, it's your fault.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.